back. It is a Danny Dot podcast. I promised you I'd keep an episode coming out on Tuesday, and here it is. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself this trip. I can't even believe that the trip is almost over. I have a 4 p.m. happy hour situation this evening, so I've got 45 minutes to record this, and then I'm going to upload it so that it's ready to go for Tuesday. I'm very organized when I'm in Australia, aren't I? I'm either like fully prepared or I'm not. But anyway, um, I can't believe how much I was actually just on fumes. Like I was burnt out when I left New Zealand. Like just so ready for a little staycation vacation. I don't even know what you even call it. Australia to me is just my second home. Um, but I do sound sort of the same. My mum right now is currently panicking because she thinks I have pneumonia. I have this weird like breathing situation going on, and I kind of only told her and my bestie just because I don't want to panic anyone because I don't know. I just seem to always fly with an issue. So, yeah, we're monitoring that. That's not a major at the moment, but I just have these weird muscular pains that go from my shoulders down to my belly and back up, and it's like this weird rolling sensation. I don't know what is going on, but it started like last Thursday, I think. And I've tried to wean myself off cold and flu medication, and my gosh, the pain, like I have to sit up in bed and I almost feel like I'm like just knocked for a six. Like I'm struggling. So, yeah, there's that. But it's okay. I'm still here and that's the main thing. So as I did land in Australia last Thursday. The plane circled over Gold Coast a fair bit. There was a little bit of weather shitty thing happening. It was non-turbulent. I actually concentrated on the fact that I hate flying, but I was more happy that I was going to see my friends. And that's probably what got me through the whole thing because my whole flight thing is like anxious as fuck. Like 20 out of 10, hate the thing, get me down, but I love planes. I don't know, there's something weird. So anyway, I was so excited to disembark and catch up with my friend who was picking me up. However, I don't know what happened, you guys, but he actually went to the domestic terminal, not the international. Now, he's been picking me up from the airport for damn near, like, what, 10, 15 years now. This is the only time that it slipped his mind that I was coming in from New Zealand and not somewhere else in Australia. And he went to the domestic terminal. So here I am, just waiting. And he pulls up and I was like, bro, like, what are you doing? But anyway, that was kind of a funny little situation. And obviously we both own Ninja slushie machines. I got mine first and then he had to suss out if it was worth doing. So he got back to his place and he chucked a whole bottle of tequila and some coconut mix into the slushie. And we made coconut margaritas and had the most extravagant cheese board that I've had in a bloody long time and caught up. Now, the repercussions of that was probably it should have been half juice, half bloody tequila, but it wasn't. So the next morning, I woke up dusty AF. Like, I'm thinking, holy shit, this better not be the start of like a snowball type situation because I've only just got to Australia and a shitload of people want to see me. So I had an appointment at 10 a.m. that morning to get my hair done for this wedding. I'd had a butchered haircut about 6 weeks, 2 months ago maybe. And I was just like, I can't salvage this. Some stupid friggin' hairdresser has gone way too close to the root with the thinning scissors and chopped off half my hair. So, yeah, I did splurge a little bit, only because I wanted a decent haircut and one that I didn't regret. I'm sick of like just half-assing all the attempts of like maintenance, like I'm old now. I'm not gonna just pay for a $45 haircut. No, you probably could if you knew what you wanted, but like I just don't. I've never had a structured haircut before in my life. So I don't know, I had to like sober up, pull my socks up and get to Brisbane CBD for this hairdressing appointment, which I entered the shopping centre where I thought the hair salon was and it hadn't moved. I just didn't know where it was. So there was a slight panic because I was dawdling a little bit. But yeah, I got to it and it was like, I think it's the whole, my hairdresser wasn't English as her preferred language speaking. So I just sort of sit there sometimes and I think, why the fuck did we even bother? Like I didn't know what I was planning on having done, yet I'm having to speak in broken English because the hairdresser's like not from Australia, not from New Zealand. Like it's just, I always do this to myself, you guys. Nothing's ever like transparent. So I'm sitting in the chair and I'm trying to explain to her like what I'm after and how I just want a little bit of like, I don't know, a fringe and a little bit of like length taken off so that the other parts of my hair can catch up. Like nothing hard. So she goes back to the old checkout and she comes back to me and she says, so this is how much it costs with just a haircut. If you want the treatment, this is how much it costs. And if you want these products, this is what this costs. And I'm like, oh, fuck. On the upsell, mate. On the friggin' upsell. Like, I don't even care. So I just decided to go with the haircut only because, like, my hair itself is fine. I just don't need all that time and drama. So off I went to the basin and got everything done. And honestly, I would say probably an 8 out of 10 for the whole experience, just because there was some weird, unnecessary shit amongst the hairdressers that I was just like, it's very unprofessional that you're discussing this in front of me. And it was about other customers where people weren't turning up to appointments, they were getting shitty and they were just like offloading to each other about, I don't know, people attending appointments. I don't know. And I don't necessarily, like, if you buy a package, you don't need all the extra things. Like, you're already aware of what you're buying. So that sort of bugged me. But anyway, she kind of understood the assignment and I was more happy than when I walked in. Let's just say that. So all in all, totally fine. Anyway, I left there and I went to go get my nails done. And now I'm not a really like high maintenance girly that sits in the chair at the nail salon and gets the acrylics or anything like that. Been there, done that in my early 20s. No, it's not my vibe. Anyway, I got really overwhelmed and I don't know where it came from, but maybe it's because the finger from the lawnmower incident is just like a little bit precious to me. And I knew that I wanted to put a little bit of effort in, but I didn't want anyone to touch my finger. Like, I'm so overprotective, it's actually ridiculous. So this woman was like, what are you after? And I said, oh, I think I want like acrylic nails. And then to my shock, honestly, in 2019 when I was getting my nails done, leaving Australia, they were 40 odd dollars in the shopping centre. Now they're $75 and that's some like basic bitch nails. Like that's not even normal, like, I don't know, gel or shellac type nail polish. That's just your off the rack kind of nail. And I don't know. I was like, are you joking? Who's spending that on fingernails? So I got the shits about the whole experience. And I went straight across to Chemist Warehouse and I just brought some really nice colour that matched my dress for the wedding. And I just planned to do them at the hotel that evening. Like it wasn't even anything serious. As I was leaving Brisbane and I was sort of like throwing the towel in on everything, you guys, like when I cracked the shits about like just getting things done and my to-do list ticked off, like I'm ready and done. So I'm walking out of Brisbane CBD and I come across this shop where in 2017 I got my smiley pierced, which is that little piece of skin that sort of is underneath your top lip. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to like go and buy another piece of jewelry for that because I don't change it as much as I probably should. I actually forget that it's there. So I walk in there. Their variety's a little bit slim. I'm a little bit particular about the fact that I love the gold jewelry and they only had silver. So I was like, listen, it's fine. I'll go elsewhere. It's totally fine. I'm not even worried about this. When I turn around and I see that they've now installed a tattoo artist, kind of a booth area, and I'm just like, okay, so I've got that drunk tattoo from the Team U tattoo gun from September last year that almost gave me sepsis. And I'm thinking, do I want to remove this shit heap of a thing on my arm or do I just want to get a cover up? And I was just thinking, okay, if I vibe with the tattooist that's there, I'll do something about it. But if he freaks me out and scares me and makes me feel pressured, I'm out of there. Because I'm one of those people that's just like, you either entertain me or I'm gone. Anyway, this bloke approaches me and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to judge me. He's probably been tattooing for like 50 years. Like he's just so, professional. And here's me like, I'm sorry, I used a tattoo gun. Anyway, we got talking and I kind of put trust in him and he managed to pull off the greatest achievement in morphing this horrible, dirty red wine glass that was half transparent, half coming off my arm, into this beautiful piece of art that I've had so many compliments on ever since I got it. And he was just so much fun. I just thought, holy shit, like this is like a diamond in the rough situation where now, like I don't have consistent people in my life like this, but I actually would genuinely tell people to go and see him for tattoos. And I myself am going to track him the fuck down the next time I'm in Brisbane for another tattoo. It's just one of those life achievements where if you go through life and you sort of, I don't know, come across an idea or whatever, you entertain it. And for me, decorating the body is definitely one of those things that I'm spontaneous about. Whilst I was in the tattoo chair, I was getting phone calls from family and from my friends, and everyone was like, what are you doing? And I was like, can you not hear it in the background? Like, is it not loud enough or something? And the bestie was like, oh, it sounds like a chainsaw. Where are you? And the tattoo artist actually said, oh shit, hang on, I'll just turn the vibrator off. That's what sent panic and shockwaves. Like, I don't know if people thought I was in a sex club or what was going on, but I was like, it's a tattoo gun, you fools. So yeah, there was a whole bunch of like shock that I went in to get my hair and my nails done and I ended up with a freaking tattoo. But anyway, so I am really thrilled with it and I had a really great experience. And I just want you guys to know I've actually misplaced his business card. Like, I'm looking around my hotel room right now. I'm currently on the Gold Coast. I can't find his business card. However, I did tag him on social media when I first got it done. I think his name was Scott Johnson, and he is located in the Off Your Tree on Queen Street, Brisbane. It's that wee shop that's down those real honky stairs that is like terrible to get down. But 10 out of 10. 100% I would recommend him. And he's such a cool guy. He actually asked my podcast name and he was so thrilled that I had a pod because he was like, who the fuck are you? Like, you're so crazy. We were just swinging these yarns and I was trying to teach him some Māori, but I'm not very good at it. So it was a bit of a fail. But I don't know. We just were like vibing and having the best time. And unfortunately, it only took about 40 minutes to an hour to get this bloody thing fixed up. But I would have sat in that chair for several hours and got like a piece done, you know? He is extremely talented. And the way that the wine glass is on my arm is unlike any other tattoos I have on my whole body. So I'm sort of sitting here like, do I need to fix anything else on my body while I'm here? Like, because honestly, like, this is an amazing piece. Can't wait to get back to New Zealand and show people. Anyway, that night we ended up back at a hotel in Brisbane. I got an executive suite at the Alex Perry Hotel Residence on Ann Street. Oh my gosh, luxury in its finest form. And I was so thrilled to host a couple of my friends up there because I am the shittest person on the planet at picking hotel rooms, you guys. Like, I mean, I've had some pretty bad experiences. I can't even think of any. Like, probably one that me and my friend booked. I assumed that there was a fold-out couch. The damn thing didn't fold out. So you can imagine, I was on this bed that was like not even a king or a queen. I think it was a double. And the couch didn't fold out. So my friend was all like folded up trying to sleep on this two-seater couch. And I was just like, what the fuck? Why am I like this, you know? So I was really thrilled to get such a nice apartment to prepare myself for the wedding because obviously it was a really important time and my cousin came up from the Gold Coast to spend a couple of nights hanging out with me and just stayed in the hotel and you couldn't even tell that he was there. It was the most like I just love this hotel so much. I would really recommend anyone if you're staying in Brizzy, go there. It had like GHD hair straighteners wired into the bathroom wall. So you didn't even have to bring your own, like they were just there and everything was luxurious at its finest. I was so obsessed with it and a full kitchen, full fridge, just stuff that I don't normally choose in a hotel. So anyway, I got to catch up with all my besties and it was just like, I'm so grateful that I get to have this experience. Obviously, I have half a family in New Zealand and half a family in Australia, but then I also have work friends, which now they're not even work friends, they're just best friends. And I can literally turn up and it could be 10 years, it could be 10 months, and it's honestly like we lift off like I've left it. And there's just no time has passed. However, I got to catch up with a friend who I know does not listen to the podcast. And I was literally standing out in the street and I was telling him what had been going on recently in little old Cromwell. And his mouth was on the floor. He was like, oh my God, damn. Are you serious? Like, honestly, I'm so proud of you, Danny. And I just stood there like, really? Really? Because I don't know if I'm proud of myself. And he's like, no. I just know how much it's in there that you are a fun person and you deserve all the happiness and all the attraction from different people, but you just hermit, and it's hard when you work from home because you don't meet anyone. I just literally gym, sleep, repeat, you know? So, yeah, look, he was thrilled, and I was sort of like, well, I can't exactly just go and say, oh, listen to the podcast if you want to hear more. But I had to sort of wrap it up because friends were turning up, and there was a few things that I was like, oh, let's not share that. Anyway, it was a really cool experience. I was actually sitting on the kitchen bench in this hotel room with all my friends just looking at me like, what the fuck? It was a really great catch up for a couple of hours. And if any of you are listening, obviously we've talked about the pod and how much fun I've been having, and we are almost at the end of season 3. I will never forget the allegedly story that lives rent-free in my brain. You guys are fucking funny, and I cannot believe that it's actually coming out of the woodwork. It's a story I may never tell the people on the podcast, but to have them just talk about it, it actually made me smile so much. The next morning I woke up and I was just like, wow, my cup is so full right now, it's over fucking flowing. And I have the best support network and friends that just don't even give a shit about anything. They just want to see me happy. That's all I can say about it. And that makes me happy because every part of me is wanting like the best support network where you can talk freely and not be judged or anything. And I don't know, have I needed that recently? Maybe. But it really felt good just to have that for like 5 or 6 hours where we were drinking, we were watching the Warriors. None of them, and most of them are Australian, had a single bad thing to say about the fact that the Warriors were on the TV at the time. We toddled across the street. We grabbed Mexican takeaway. We brought it back to the hotel room. We continued drinking our drinks. And it was just like wholesome, like everything I expected and more. I was so thrilled. Anyway, Saturday rolled around and I was so like nervous. Why would I be nervous? But I don't know. I was really like wobbly as well emotionally. And I think it was just like, it just hit me. My cousin is getting married. He's going to be a groom today. Like, let's just pull up our socks. And why do I keep referring to socks? I'm literally not even wearing socks. Anyway, I got to the ceremony and it was absolutely stunning. I just thought, wow, each one of these weddings is just getting more and more amazing. And here I am just like, I feel like my wedding, if I was to ever had one, I would elope because at the end of the day, like, this is some extravagant shit, you know? But again, like, I obviously have just landed in Australia at this point and I hadn't seen my friends, my family before the wedding itself. So to have all the cousins run across this bloody concrete slab and be so excited to see me is just like, oh, I I don't know if like lately I've just been so busy that I have to have a reason to come to Australia, but in my mind I kind of just think, oh well, the next time I'm here I'm probably going to travel on to, I don't know, another country or whatever. But it seems like lately I've just been going to all these things that involve my family and friends and their highlights of their life, and here I am just like, I wouldn't have it any other way, you know? So this wedding was really special because obviously I was thinking about this before. The last time that they saw me was for 24 hours when I landed here for their engagement party, and the stupid salmon had just broken my heart. And I just kind of like had this real, you know what? It's been like 7 months and I am so fucking good right now. It's not even a case of even looking back at what happened in January. I am so far forward, it's unbelievable. But the funny thing was that none of them even worried about it. They didn't bring it up. They didn't ask how I was in that sense. It was just like, what's new and how's things going? And a couple of them listened to the podcast, so a few of them were on the buzz, like they knew what was going on. And yeah, I just sort of felt really strong in that sense. There is kind of that weird conversation that was wafting around at the ceremony and the reception that was kind of like, when are you going to be next, Danny? And I just stood there like, are you joking? You know, I look at it like sometimes there's just me, my mum, and my brother in Queenstown. Like, there's nothing like there is in Australia. There's like 20 cousins and they're all bloody growing with their partners and kids and stuff like that. So it's quite overwhelming for myself. And I referred to it today as it's like walking into Chemist Warehouse when you haven't been to a shop in like 6 months and you have all those like fluoro tags that are just like screaming at your face. Sometimes I look at my family and they're so excited to see me. I get really overwhelmed with it. But in their own way, they're sitting there saying, oh, when are you going to be next getting married? And I look at them like, why would you want me to share myself with another person when you are obsessed with me just getting on planes and popping over to see you guys get married and have babies and do great life achievements? But I know that they want the best for me, but sometimes you just need to take a step back and be like, you know what? This is the best for me. I wouldn't have it any other way. Why would I want to be tied down with anything like a bloke, a kid? I don't care. I literally have an Afterpay account, a couple of credit cards, and a shoe closet full of shoes. Why would I be unhappy with like any of that? I mean, yeah, there was a few times like at the wedding where I was just standing there like when they did the photos and they said to me, Danny, jump in the photos. And I was like, just me, you know, but I didn't have a partner to share in that sort of photo experience, but it's fine. Honestly, I'm not bothered. Do I look sad about any part of this? No. And what have we learned through these whole 3 seasons of the podcast? I'm just such a strong, independent individual. Like, you'd have to be bloody interesting to keep me, I'm telling you now. um, so yeah, when the ceremony was all done and dusted and we made our way over to the yacht, we got on this boat for 6 hours. I was kind of standing there looking at this big vessel, just like, we're going to be on this for 6 hours? Like, what if one of the toilets like gets blocked or something? What's going to happen there? Because I mean, the bar tab was unlimited to some extent, and I sort of freaked out a little bit. Like, the audience was changing from those that went to the ceremony, which was the close quarters of friends and family, to all the like people that they wanted to have at the reception, which was, I don't know, just the wider audience, I suppose. And I was thinking, holy fuck, this is going to go downhill real fast. But surprisingly, I don't know what happened, and it just went super fast. I honestly don't know. We went 2 hours up the river one way and 2 hours up the river the other way. Maybe we stopped stationary for like an hour whilst they did the 7 speeches. Those speeches, phenomenal. The stepdad speech, who was the bride's stepdad, he did something I've never seen before, and I just stood there quite amazed and bemused because he made a comment and said, all right, my daughter is now married off, so if any of you in the audience have my house keys, can I have them? And they, like, several blokes moved forward and gave this guy keys, and even a female, and I just stood there like, it was so well done. And I've watched a fair few fucking TikToks, let me tell you, but I've never seen anyone pull that off before, and that was pretty fucking funny. There was just little innuendos that I thought, oh, this is cool. But again, out of the 7 speeches, I cried in every single one of them. And it just broke me watching the groom talk about his bride. And I just thought, holy hell. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. These weddings are just wrapping me around their little finger, I'm telling you now. So after the 6 hours and the old bar tab got exhausted, which, ugh, I just can't even tell you how many bloody hard solo drinks and Patron margaritas I drank, but I had a lot of fun on that cruise. We got off the boat and all made our way to the casino, which had a little nightclub area. And the funny thing is that they were doing a Brisbane Broncos signing, And you know me, I've had a couple of drinks. I jumped over the velvet rope and I was lined up ready to get my autographs. It was all exciting. And then got to where they were signing and they cut it off. And I saw this pile of like player cards or whatever. My cousin leans over as though she was signing one. And this bloke comes over and says, "You can't sign that. That's for the players." And she turned around and she goes, "I'm leaving me OnlyFans on here." And you should have seen the look on this guy's face. I think he was quite like shocked. And I was gone. Honestly, I was almost keeled over on the tiles just laughing at this whole situation. But she wasn't like, I mean, she's probably joking. She's got a partner and a kid. But yeah, look, the whole thing was just 10 out of 10. Well, no, 20 out of 10, honestly. It reignited the spark that anyone can do any kind of wedding, because that wedding alone was very relaxed and not structured whatsoever, which is a hindsight different to his sisters. He's already gone through two sisters bloody getting married, and they did things, so structured and beautifully. But I was like, I don't even know what's going to happen today. I'm scared. So no, that was such a cool experience. And then I jumped in the car Sunday. I was crook. When I tell you how crook I was, there's no words. I was thinking, holy my God. So got to the Gold Coast and found a really cool place to have just some food. Went for a bit of a wander, and that's where I am right now. So I'm just sort of having a little bit of a staycation down here, just enjoying my own company. I feel like I needed it just because when I left Queenstown, I was a bag of shit, to be honest. This cold was just ruining everything. But I had this horrible injury, which I don't even know what had happened here, but the skin on my pinky toe had been all ripped off on one side and no band-aids could fit this stupid wound. And I was standing there like, well, I don't know how to fix this. I'm literally looking at flesh right now. So, yeah, got that under control. And I keep saying to Mum, it's okay. I'm staying in two different hotels while I'm in Australia. So I'm just going to spend time in the pool and the spa and the sea and just kind of like hope everything heals, because there's something so, I don't know, it is exactly that. It's like healing about the ocean where you just got to dip your feet in and then you just feel calmness. So I've spent a fair bit of time just sort of on the beach here at the Gold Coast, that's for sure. And just catching as much vitamin D from the sun as I possibly can. It makes me feel so warm and fuzzy inside. And when I got up this morning, I didn't really have a plan. I was like, okay, this is my day of just relaxing and getting back into the independent side of Danny. And that's something I pride myself in. I always have. I can do anything I want in the world, but sometimes just having a minute to just do things on your own time is all the satisfaction you need. And so I actually spent about 2 hours on the phone, surprise, surprise, to the Australian taxation office, because for some strange reason I left a job in Australia in 2017 and they underpaid me. So they keep putting money in my bank account in Australia since, well, every single year. And every year I have to make a tax return and then I get more money back. So I have to do that. So I just basically rang them and I was going around in circles explaining my situation. And I was like, oh my God, I can't tell this company to stop giving me money, but it really bothers me that the ATO, or the Australian Taxation Office, keeps needing me to buy all these Australian SIM cards just to prove my identity. I think Australia is quite big on the whole scammy type thing, so I understand, but it's just really annoying. So I got that all sorted and then went down to the ocean, dipped my toes in. I was having a bit of a eat, pray, love moment on the beach, as I do. I love the beach. I really do. Right now there's like I'm sitting on the balcony at the hotel and I can see 4 dredging boats. So they're shooting sand into the sky and redistributing it since that horrible hurricane ripped everything up about 6 months ago. So yeah, the beach is looking a little bit half-assed, but it's there. And then I don't know, I just decided, oh, okay, I've got sand on my toes, got my jandals on, got my beach dress on. I'm going to go for a walk up the shopping centre and see what I can find to do, because there's a lot of activities. I don't know if you're familiar with the Gold Coast, but there's a lot of activities. They're like little hidden gems as well. So As I'm walking along, I come across a piercing shop and I was like, you know what? I don't need to buy material items. I don't need handbags, sunglasses, souvenirs, like kind of bullshit. I'm going to get a piercing. So I'm sitting in the shop for damn near like 10, 15 minutes. No one's in it. There's no sales assistants. There's no people. I'm just like, maybe it's a sign that I keep going because obviously people are busy or I don't even know. Like, was this shop even like locked last night? Like, is this sales consultant here? Like, what's going on? When this chickie comes out and she's got this amazing earring stack on her ear, and I was just like, well, I'm a little bit inspired. I'm a little bit inspired. So I decided to get a couple of piercings. I got my tragus and my helix, which is two really unusual ones. And now I'm sort of wondering if it was the right decision because I'm not sure how I sleep tonight. Anyway, that's another issue. But the piercing chickie, her name is Jessie, and I want you all to know, amazing. Amazing. I've come to the conclusion that if you don't feel comfortable with someone performing a service on your body, that sounds really sexual. It doesn't mean to be. I did ask her about genital piercings, but she only changes the jewelry. She doesn't pierce. I wouldn't do that. Far out. My God, it's a Monday morning. Chuck a flap out. Hey, can you? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, she was phenomenal. She's actually made this comment today, which cracked me up, and I was like, "Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it." She actually said, "You're so funny. Oh my God, you need to be a comedian or have a podcast." I looked her dead in the eye, and I was like, "Oh fuck. Oh dear, here it comes. I have a podcast." And lately, I just feel like it's just been rolling off my tongue, and I'm just like, shit, never had before, and now it has been, and all of a sudden, it's just like this whole audience is changing, and it's freaking me out. So we were switching back and forth all these stories about bad dating history and people that have been writing into the podcast to make me feel better about this whole farmer situation, which is so in the back of my mind. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, it was really cool. I was just like lying on this table on a Monday with my head against the wall and she was piercing my ears. And I don't know, I just felt really good. But my God, that is like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 on the pain factor. I was like, holy shit, Jessie, calm down. But no, she is amazing. So if you're at Skin Candy on Cavill Ave, Jessie is your girl to drop you some piercings. She's fucking funny. She's got some really great coffee table stories about the piercing history that she's had. She's literally been here on the Gold Coast since she was very young. I think she said 6. So obviously she's seen a bit of weird shit because there is crazy people everywhere. She made a comment just as I was paying, which I was like, oh my God, people are so weird. But a woman had recently walked up to her and asked if the the ear piercing care solution could be used on her lady bits because there was an odor. I don't know about you guys, but you're not supposed to use antiseptic liquid like that on an odor in your little lady bits, okay? So I reckon that she needs to go to a pharmacist and get her blue waffle fixed. But the look that Jessie was giving, I was like, some people just miss cues, like, what the fuck? So yeah, if you are that woman, just go see a doctor or something. Don't go and approach people at piercing studios. It's weird. Anyway, I managed to make it to a really cool sporting bar for some lunch and a bird shat on me, which is ideal because I went to pull my singlet down and I put my hand in it and I thought it was like avocado. Everyone I talked to was like, it's good luck, it's good luck. I was like, there's nothing fucking good luck about this. It's like dried up avocado in the back of my top. Anyway, I was eating the most delicious maple bacon jam wings I've ever had in my life. And look, I've been eating some weird shit lately. Like throughout my trip to Auckland and Australia, I've definitely been just deep diving on weird cuisines. But bacon jam, maple bacon jam wings, 10 out of 10. I'm still just so impressed with that. Anyway, I got back to the apartment. I was like just in the bathroom. I'd taken my singlet off. I'd thrown it in the sink and I was washing it. I was standing in my bra and my skirt, and all of a sudden I hear this noise. I tell you, I am so quick to judge. It was this big whoosh noise, and I jumped outside to catch the two beautiful F-16 jets low and slow across the ocean here that I'm looking at. And could not grab my phone fast enough. I was not prepared. I'm standing there in a bra. I'm like, okay, this is great. It was the most perfect experience. And I stood there and I was like, you know what? I kind of had a feeling this was coming. If you know me, you know that I'm like a huge aviation fan, but there was meant to be a Pacific Air show this weekend and I had prime location to watch it. Something just felt a bit off. Every time I've been on the Gold Coast, if I haven't been able to see a jet, I've heard one. So it was just weird that I'd just come out of the bathroom and I was standing, pulling the door open, the sliding door to the balcony, and that happened. And I just thought, holy shit. So it's just been such a fabulous couple of days, really deserved. I feel so much better about things. And I don't know, it's just like realigned every part of what I'm supposed to be doing in life. And I got off the phone to mum and I said, I don't know why Australia does this to us. Like, honestly, I went to Woolies the other night and I was like, I'm just going to grab all these like really, junk foody kind of things for the hotel apartment. No. When you're in the supermarket in Australia, you're almost every single time going to pick up a punnet of strawberries because they're so disgustingly cheap. It's ridiculous. So I got water, strawberries, I can't even think of some random like garlic and cheese Herbie scrolls. I was thinking about breakfast this morning. That's what I was doing. But it was just one of those like weird spontaneous shops, but it wasn't very junk foody. And I had this whole impression, but I feel like in Australia, the junk food's not the cheap thing. It's actually the healthy food. Healthy food's way cheaper than the junk food. Makes no sense. But anyway, it just kind of like realigned where my priorities are when I go home. And that's exactly what I needed. I just need to know that like we're going to be coming into summer. I'm going to start getting ready to like just get back into health and fitness more or less. Stop focusing on like the Friday night at the pub. I don't even care about that anymore. And just, I don't know. I'm excited though. I've got one more episode until the end of the season 3. Don't know if I'm going to do a season 4. I've had so much fun so far. And the audience is just giving. It is honestly giving. So tomorrow I'm going to head back to Brisbane. I'm going to catch up with the cousins in the morning and see my cousin's son. It's his birthday. And then go back up to Brisbane to hang out with my friend for the night. Have a dinner with him. Obviously, he's pretty special, so he can have a dinner with me. And then bright and early Wednesday, I'm catching the flight back to New Zealand. And then we are going to hit the ground running. We've got a blind tasting at the Town and Country Club in Cromwell. I'm very excited. They've had multiple wineries come through that place in the past 18 months. They're going to chuck some blind, or they're going to cover up the labels on the wine bottles, and we're going to have to choose and guess which wine it is. So I'm taking a whole bunch of friends to that because, I love that kind of shit because I feel like I can pick out a good one. I reckon I know which wineries are which in the region, that's for sure. It's about 5 years in the making, that is. But no, just lots of plans and I want to get on with it, It's difficult when you're on holiday because you're like, got to get back, I've got to do all the things, but, I'm just going to like take it slow and try and get better and get rid of this horrible nose congestion situation, which I'm surprised has not left my body because holy crap, like I've literally been in the most amazing outdoor settings lately and I've been underwater in swimming pools in the ocean, not so much spa baths because you get like infections in your ears or something. Ah, I had to think about that. Then I actually have to sleep with these ear piercings in. No. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Honestly, it's always a treat coming back on the mic just to drop in and let you know how things are going. As say hi to Scott and Jessie, my two new service friends. One's a tattoo artist and one's a piercer. I don't know if I ever really gravitated towards having any of that kind of stuff in New Zealand, but I'm really happy to say that I found these two in Gold Coast and Brisbane because they are fucking special people. And I really appreciate the fun chats that we've had the past couple of days, all right? So anyway, as always, my audience, please have the best week ahead, and I will be back next Tuesday for my last episode for the season. I do not know what we're going to be talking about. Let's see what the weekend holds, and I will talk to you then. Take care, make good choices. Love ya. Bye.